Good morning, class. Today we are going to explore balancing equations. This is going to be a two-part video. First part is going to be the foundation, which is a review of counting elements in a compound. And the second part will be the actual balancing of equations. So let's take out a sheet of paper and a pencil and follow along. Okay, we're going to start off with something simple. Let's start off with water. Now we're all familiar with the formula of water. It's H2O. But what do those letters and numbers mean? Okay, this number right here next to the hydrogen, that is a subscript, and it means that there are two hydrogens. The subscript only belongs to the element immediately to the left of it. Notice oxygen does not have a subscript, so it's known that there is just one oxygen. So let's write down our answer here for the number of elements in this compound. We have two hydrogens and one oxygen. That's going to give us a total of 3 elements in that compound. Now let's do another example. Let's do carbon dioxide. There is no number right next to carbon, so it's known that that is a 1. There is a 2 right next to the oxygen, so that means that there is 2 oxygens. So we have 1 carbon and 2 oxygens. That's going to give us, again, a total of 3 elements. Now, it's really important to note that this 2 only belongs to the oxygen. It does not belong to the carbon. This 2 only belongs to the hydrogen, not to the oxygen. Okay, I'm going to give you another example. I want you to pause the video, try to solve it, and once you have solved it, press play again to check your answer. Okay, the one I want to give you is glucose. Remember back to biology? Glucose is one of the products of photosynthesis. So pause the video now. Okay, so hopefully you've solved it, and now it's time to check your work. Okay, we have 6 carbons. We have 12 hydrogens. And we have 6 oxygens. So that's a total of 24 elements in glucose. Good job. Okay, I want to add another foundational step to balancing equations, and that's what's called coefficients. So I'm going to use the samples we used before, water, CO2, and glucose, but this time I'm going to put a number in front of them. So I'm going to put a number 3 in front of water. This number in the front is what's called a coefficient. That means that there are 3 water molecules here. Now when we're counting this, we have to count how many elements there are in those 3 water molecules. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this 3 and multiply it into each of the elements in that compound. So 3 times 2 means that we have 6 hydrogens. And 3 times 1 means that we have 3 oxygens. So if we have a total of 3 water molecules, that's going to be 9 elements. Okay, let's do CO2. This time, let's put a 5 in front of there. So if we had 5 carbon dioxide molecules, how many elements is that? So do the same thing. We're going to multiply this coefficient into each of the elements. So 5 times 1 carbon is going to be 5 carbons. And 5 times 2 is 10 oxygens. That's going to give us a total of 15 elements. So let's do glucose as an example for you. I'm going to write it down. I want you to pause it, try to solve it, and then once you've solved it, press play again to check your work. Let's go with a 6. So if we had 6 glucose molecules, how many total elements is that going to be? Feel free to grab a calculator or use your phone for the calculator. I know I certainly will need to do that. So pause it now and come back once you are done. Okay, let's check our work here. So we take that coefficient and we're going to multiply it into each element of the compound. So we have 6 times 6. That's going to give us 36 carbons. 6 times 12 is 72. So we have 72 hydrogens. And finally, 6 times 6 is 36 oxygens. So add it all up, that's going to give us a total of 144 elements. Okay, just as a review, for the coefficients, it means that we have 6 glucose molecules, and we need to multiply it into each element of that molecule. If you got that right, give yourself a big pat on the back. Good job, guys. Oh, welcome back, guys. How did you guys do? Did you get it right? It's not too bad, is it? This is a review of stuff we covered in first semester. Again, it's a foundation of balancing equations. Okay, we're going to come back to Google Classroom, and we are going to review what we just went over. I'm going to assign a document that you will work on asynchronously. So I'll see you in a few minutes.